What's going on, everyone? Klep Napier from wearecritics.com, and today we are here to talk about and celebrate the digital release of Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead 2024. That's right, this is brought to us by BET Films and director Wade Allain-Marcus, written by Chuck Hayward and starring Simone Joy Jones, who you all may know from Bel Air. That's right, they have gotten together to put a spin on this 1991 classic. They had a moment to sit with me and talk a little about the process of this film, and here's what they had to say. Check it out. What's going on, Simone? Thank you for sitting with me to talk about this reimagining of such an iconic film. And I wanted to ask you, because I know you're a lot younger and this came out a long time before you were born. When did this get on your radar? How old were you when you actually saw this film?
I I saw it right after my audition.
Really?
Because after reading the script, I was like, okay, what are and I was introduced to the original through this one.
Wow. Was there any reservation about jumping into these shoes of such like a fun, iconic movie?
Absolutely, especially coming from a background of Bel Air, it's like we want to be able to take care of the original, the source material, especially when people love it so much and it's so close to people's hearts. You want to make sure that it's the right move and the people who are working on it care about it.
And Wade, I need you to answer this for me. Is it true that you were like only 4 years old when the original came out?
When did it come out? It came out in 91. I was
91.
six. I was six.
Okay, so 6 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
So this question is for both of you. How old were you when you actually saw the original? And when you watched the original, were there already ideas in your head on how this film could be redone or improved at some point?
Just make it black. That always improves things.
Yeah, I was 11. I saw it on repeat. It was on HBO constantly, and I watched it every single time. Like if it was on, I was like, "All right, well, there's my next 2 hours." And I didn't think of how to improve it. I just thought like this movie's perfect. This movie is I'm gonna appreciate childhood because it looks like adulthood sucks. And I was when it came across, the opportunity came to redo it. I was more than excited, and I told the producers I was like, I've never prepared less for a meeting because I know this movie frontwards and backwards. Like I know this, I know the lyrics and the songs that are playing in the score. Like I know all, like this is I can't wait to like just add something to this. So I don't think it's about improving. I think it's just about like looking at it from another angle.
One of the things that I really enjoyed about this version of it is it really kind of hones in on there's like an expectation, there's an ongoing theme about the expectation of finding yourself before you're ready based on, what people believe or young adults should be, where they should be mentally in their lives. Is that something that you dealt with on your own, like trying to figure out what was the right route for you
Mm,
under pressure?
absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like there's always doubts or, hearsay or just noise along on the path that you're supposed to be. But I thankfully have the most gorgeous, lovely, grounded parents. And so from a very young age, actually, I remember when I was in kindergarten or like first grade, they were like, writing down our dreams, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm like, I want to be an actor. I want to be a singer. And
Oh.
my teacher was like, hey, we need to get a plan B, da 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 da. And then I brought my homework assignment home, and my mom said, you can fail that assignment because you tell your teacher that you don't need a plan B, and that's going to work out for you.
I want to talk a little bit about the rating because I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. When I was young and it first came out, my parents wouldn't allow me to see this movie without my older brother, and I was really upset because it was during my elementary school graduation and all my friends were going, but I couldn't go see it, and it was only
Dang.
13 at the time. So,
Right.
was there a conscious decision to go R, or was that just something that they gave you guys after the process?
Oh yeah, they
I'll let
gave it to us. They stuck it to us.
Wow.
They, that was not no. We wanted to go PG-13. Go ahead, Chuck. I see you got
I,
something.
I I think it wasn't deserved, and it definitely wasn't intended. We were trying to make it as like realistic as possible. Kids curse a little bit. We use the N word a little bit, like that. Like that's just how it is. And I think I don't think it was earned. Sorry, I don't want to say too
For
much.
some context, and I will just say the reason that we were given is not necessarily that our movie is more, R-rated than the original. But America has kind of shifted to be more conservative over the years. They gave the example that like the Bad News Bears, which back then got a PG rating, would have got an R today. And
Okay.
so that's what they say, but I would counter that by saying, well, why do we give these horror films, these violent films, PG-13 ratings, and say that that's okay for our kids, but we can't have a little recreational use. We can't speak how we speak. We can't talk about, certain things like that. To me is a debate.
And I talked to Wade and Chuck about uh, the R rating in this one versus the original. Was there anything in the script that you saw that was a wow moment that you're like, wow, we're really gonna go there? We're gonna do this?
No, I feel like the R rating was because of the drug presence of like weed at the party. But
Yeah,
other than that, it's not outlandish.
yeah.
Or, I mean, obviously, having a dead woman in the house is pretty outlandish and
And it could-
and horrible.
and word.
Other than that, it's doing what teenagers. Right, exactly. And the vulgar language, of course. And of course, once we got the R rating, we're like, put them all back in there. But I feel like it wasn't the craziest. I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
no,
still feel like it's a family movie at its core.
yeah. I don't understand that rating as well, which is why I asked them about it. And I'm glad that you have your own thoughts on it too. But hey, I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. A lot of things are different in this film. We know that, but there are some familiar things in this film, and I want to speak to like some of the old cast. Spoiler alert, if you have not seen this film yet, but you guys managed to get a couple of the OGs into this film. Was that an easy yes or a hard yes getting these guys involved, like Keith Coogan? Who else is Danielle Harris is in this? Joanne Cassidy, right? She's in this as well.
That's right, Joanna Cassidy.
Was that an easy yes for them?
Oh yeah, they were so excited to be a part of it. They were so excited about our movie. I mean, Keith Coogan was around the whole time. He like shot behind the scenes for us while he was there. So all of that was great. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Christina, but that was other factors, not because she didn't want to be a part of it. But just a sort of overall thing, I think a lot of remakes, at least from my viewpoint, fall short when they try to be so wildly different from the original. And so it's alienating to people who love the original, right? And so we were trying to walk this very different tightrope line, different and difficult, of being true to the spirit of the original, to literally some of the moments, some of the filmic language of it, while also being able to make it completely unique and fresh at the same time, which is difficult, but that was the goal that we were trying to do. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, we shot in the original house. That was the same exact house from the original. Of course, there are updates, but there was something that really, and I think that kind of idea, this sort of like mischievous notion of being like, we can use things from the original to our benefit, but flip it, was kind of downstream. We wanted it all the way. And this idea that like 30 years later, a Black family experiences the same exact thing that they had experienced before, it just tickled me. And so, yeah, we ended up shooting in the same house. So there was a lot of nods and Easter eggs and things to the original, while also, of course, being the kind of photo negative of it.
Yeah, I kind of thought that house looked familiar, but I wasn't sure. But I'm glad you guys had a chance to talk to me. Just one last question before I head out. What role did you have in mind for Christina if she had joined on?
That's a great question.
That is a great question, and we didn't really have an idea, but it was like if we got her, we'll put her in anywhere. We'll write something to her, and we unfortunately didn't have the opportunity. But
Okay.
Yeah, but it would have been a moment, kind of like how we had Nicole Richie and Joanna Cassidy and like them to be across from each other. It probably would have been a moment and a similar sort of passing of the torch between Simone Joy Jones and Christina Applegate, and Simone, our phenomenal lead, who I think really is the heart of our movie.
You guys make sure you're all checking out Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, now available on BET Plus, Prime Video, and other digital platforms now.